Hello, this is HalleluYah with a late night reading, but reading nonetheless. Reading that I wanted to get in before I turned in, um, as I've committed myself to doing this, and I don't want to not do what I've made a commitment to do. So, um, okay, we're going to begin with a word of prayer. Thank you, Father, for this day. Thank you, Abba, for Shabbat, actually, that we are now entering. Thank you, Father, for waking me up this morning. Thank you for all that you're doing in the land. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for still being on the throne. Thank you for breathing life into me. Thank you for putting in my heart the desire to get to know you better by reading the word. Just thank you, Father. Thank you. There's not enough thank yous that I can say. Not enough thank yous that I can bestow. Father, please grace me with understanding and knowledge and wisdom. Help me to understand what I'm reading, Father, and put the verses together, put the scriptures together so that they make sense to me. Father, bless this channel. Bless anyone who comes seeking you. Father, at this channel, Father, forgive my sins, forgive them known and unknown. Father, forgive any doors that I've opened unknowingly and allowed access to myself to the kingdom of darkness. Father, I pray that you would help me shut those doors as I submit myself fully and totally to you, Father. I denounce and deny everything else and submit myself completely to you. Father, again, just thank you. Thank you, Father. I give you all the holy, all the glory, all the honor, all the praise. You are worthy, Father, to be praised. These things, Father, I ask in your name, in your Son's name. So be it, and may it be so. Thank you. Lord. Okay, so we are again in the HalleluYah Scriptures, and we're at chapter 11. Okay, so chapter 11. And Yah said to Moshe, I am bringing yet one more plague on Pharaoh and on Mitzrayim. After that, he is going to let you go from here. When he lets you go, he shall drive you out from here altogether. Speak now in the hearing of the people, and let every man ask from his neighbor and every woman from her neighbor objects of silver and objects of gold. And Yah gave the people favor in the eyes of the Mizrahites. And the man Moshe was very great in the land of Mitzrayim and in the eyes of Pharaoh's servants and in the eyes of the people. And Moshe said, Thus said Yah, about midnight I am going out into the midst of Mitzrayim, and all the firstborn of the land of Mitzrayim shall die, from firstborn of Pharaoh who sits on his throne, even to the firstborn of the female servant who is behind the handmill, and all the firstborn of cattle. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Mitzrayim, such as has never been or ever be again. But against any of the children of Yasharel, no dog shall move its tongue against man or against beast, so that you know that Yah makes distinction between Mitzrayim and Yasharel. Okay, I'm sorry, I had to read that verse again. In fact, let me read it aloud again. But against any of the children of Yasharel, no dog shall move its tongue against man or against beast, so that you know that Yah, makes distinction between Mitzrayim and Yasharel. I turned the fan off so that y'all can hear. So I'm a little bit hot right now, so excuse me wiping my face, but yeah, I get warm. Okay, and all these servants of yours shall come down to me and bow down to me, saying, Get out, you and all the people at your feet, and after that I shall go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in great displeasure. But Yah said to Moshe, Pharaoh is not going to listen to you in order to multiply my wonders in the land of Israel. And Moshe and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh. However, Yah hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not let the children of Yasharel, go out of his land. And Yah spoke to Moshe and to Aharon in the land of Mitzrayim, saying, This month is the beginning of months for you. It is the first month of the year for you. Speak to all the congregation of Yasharel, saying, On the 10th day of this month, each one of them is to take for himself a lamb according to the house of his father, a lamb for a household. And if the household is too small for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next to his house take it according to the number of beings, according to each man's need. You make your count for the lamb. Let the lamb be a perfect one, a year-old male. Take it from the sheep or from the goats, and you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. Then all the assembly of the congregation of Yasharel shall kill it between the evenings. And they shall take some of the blood and put it on 2 doorposts and on the lintel of the houses where they eat it. And they shall eat the flesh on that night, roasted in fire, with unleavened bread, and with butter herbs that shall eat it. Do not eat it raw, nor boiled at all with water, but roasted in fire, its head with its legs and its inward parts. And do not leave of it until morning, and what remains of it until morning you are to burn with fire. And this is how you eat it: your loins girded, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And you shall eat it in haste. It is the Pesach of Yah. Okay. And I shall pass through the land of Mitzrayim on that night, and shall smite all the firstborn of the land of Mitzrayim, both man and beast. And on all the mighty ones of Mitzrayim I shall execute judgment. I am Yah. And the blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I shall pass over you, and let the plague not come on you to destroy you when I smite the land of Mitzrayim. And this day shall come to you a remembrance, and you shall observe it as a festival to Yah throughout your generations. Observe it as a festival, an everlasting law. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Indeed, on the first day you cause leaven to cease from your houses. For whoever eats leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that being shall be cut off from Yasharel. And on the first day of the Kodesh gathering, and on the 7th day, you have a Kodesh gathering. On the first day and on the 7th day. Okay. No work at all is done on them, only that which is eaten by every being, that alone is prepared by you. Okay. And you shall guard the Matzah, for on this same day I brought your divisions out of the land of Mitzrayim, and you shall guard this day throughout your generations, an everlasting law. In the first, on the 14th day of the month, in the evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month in the evening. For 7 days no leaven is to be found in your houses. For if anyone eats what is leavened, that same being shall be cut off from the congregation of Yasharel, whether sojourner or native of the land. Do not eat that which is leavened in your dwellings. You are to eat unleavened bread. And Moshe called for all the elders of Yasharel and said to them, Go out and take lambs for yourselves according to your clans, and slaughter the Pesach. And you shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel on the two doorposts with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you, shall go out of the door of his house until morning. And Yah shall pass on to smite the Mizrites, and shall see the blood on the lintel and on the doorpost. Sorry. And Yah shall pass over the door, and not allow the destroyer to come into your houses to smite you. And you shall guard this word as a law for you and your sons forever. And it shall be, when you come to the land which Yah gives you as he promised, that you shall guard this service. And it shall be, when your children say to you, what does this service mean to you? Then you shall say, it is the Passah, slaughtering of Yah, who passed over the houses of the children of Yasharel and Mitzrayim when he smote the Mizrites and delivered our households. And the people bowed their heads and did obeisance. And the children of Yasharel went away and did so as Yah had commanded Moshe and Aharon, so they did. And it came to be at midnight that Yah smote all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, from the firstborn of Pharaoh, who sat on his throne, to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of livestock. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Mizrites. And there was a great cry in Mitzrayim, for there was not a house where there was not a dead one. Then he called for Moshe and Aharon by night and said, arise, go out from the midst of my people, both you and the children of Yasharel, and go, serve Yah as you have said. Take both your flocks and your herds, as you have said, and go. Then you shall barak me too. And the Mizrites urged the people to hasten to send them away out of the land, for they said, we are all dying. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, having their kneading bowls bound up in their garments on their shoulders. And the children of Yisrael had done according to the word of Moshe, and they had asked from the Mizrites objects of silver and objects of gold and garments. And Yah gave the people favor in the eyes of the Mizrites, so that they gave them what they asked, and they plundered the Mizrites. And the children of Yasharel departed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 men on foot, besides the little ones. And a mixed multitude went up with them also, flocks and herds, very much livestock. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they had brought out of Mitzrayim, for it was not leavened, since they were driven out of Mitzrayim, and had not been able to delay, nor had they prepared food for themselves. And the sojourn of the children of Yasharel who lived in Mitzrayim was 430 years. And the sojourn of the children of Yasharel who lived in Mitzrayim was 430 years. And it came to be at the end of the 430 years, on the same day it came to be, that all the divisions of Yah went out from the land of Mitzrayim. It is a night to be observed unto Yah for bringing them out of the land of Mitzrayim. This night is unto Yah to be observed by all the children of Yasharel throughout their generations. And Yah said to Moshe and Aharon, this is the law of Pesach. No son of a stranger is to eat of it, but any servant a man has brought for silver, when you have circumcised him, then let him eat of it. A sojourner and a hired servant does not eat of it. It is eaten in one house. You are not to take any of the flesh outside the house, nor are you to break any bone of it. All the congregation of Yasharel are to perform it. And when a stranger sojourns with you and shall perform the Pesach to Yah, let all the males be circumcised, and then let him come near and perform it. And he shall be as a native of the land, but let no one uncircumcised eat of it. There is one Torah for the native born and for the stranger who sojourns among you. And all the children of Yasharel did as Yah commanded Moshe and Aharon, so they did. And it came to be on that same day that Yah brought the children of Israel out of the land of Mitzrayim according to their divisions. Chapter 13. And Yah spoke to Moshe, saying, Kodash to me all the firstborn, the one opening the womb among the children of Yasharel, among man and among beasts, it is mine. And Moshe said to the people, Remember this day in which you went out of Mitzrayim, out of the house of slavery. For by strength of hand Yah brought you out of this place, and whatever is leavened shall not be eaten. Today you are going out in the month of Abib, and it shall be when Yah brings you into the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he swore to your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, that you shall keep this service in this month. 7 days you eat unleavened bread, and on the seventh day is a festival to Yah. Unleavened bread is to be eaten the seven days, and whatever is leavened is not to be seen with you, and leaven is not to be seen with you within all your border. And you shall inform your son in that day, saying, It is because of what Yah did for me when I came up from Mitzrayim. And it shall be as a sign to you on your hand, and as a reminder between your eyes, that the Torah of Yah is to be in your mouth. For with a strong hand Yah has brought you out of Mitzrayim. And you shall guard this law at its appointed time from year to year. And it shall be when Yah brings you into the land of the Canaanites, as he swore to you and your fathers, and gives it to you. Okay, that you shall pass over to Yah every one opening the womb, and every firstborn that comes from your livestock. The males belong to Yah. But every firstborn of a donkey you are to ransom with a lamb. And if you do not ransom it, then you shall break its neck. And every firstborn of man among your sons you are to ransom. And it shall be when your son asks you in time to come, saying, What is this? Then you then shall say to him, By strength of hand Yah brought us out of Mitzrayim, out of the house of bondage. And it came to be, when Pharaoh was too hardened to let us go, that Yah killed every firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, both firstborn of man and the firstborn of beasts. Therefore I am slaughtering to Yah every male that opens the womb, but every firstborn of my sons I ransom. Therefore I am slaughtering to Yah every male that opens the womb, but every firstborn of my sons I ransom. And it shall be a sign on your hand, and as frontlets between your eyes. For by strength of hand Yah brought us out of Mitzrayim. And it came to be, when Pharaoh had let the people go, that I am HalleluYah, did not lead them by way of the land of the Pelishtites, though that was near. For Yah said, Lest the people regret when they see fighting and return to Mitzrayim. So I am HalleluYah led the people around by the way of the wilderness of the Sea of Reeds. And the children of Yasharel went up armed from the land of Mitzrayim. And Moshe took the bones of Joseph with him, for he certainly made the children of Yasharel swear, saying, Yah shall certainly visit you, and you shall bring my bones from here with you. And they departed from Succoth and camped in Etham at the edge of the wilderness. And Yah went before them by day in a column of cloud to lead the way, and by night in a column of fire to give them light, and as to go by day and night. And the column of cloud did not cease by day, nor the column of fire by night before the people. Wow. Chapter 14. And Yah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Yasharel, that they turn and camp before Pi Ha Hiroth, between Migdol and the sea, opposite Baal to Siphon, camp before it by the sea. For Pharaoh shall say to the children of Yasharal, they are entangled in the land, the wilderness has closed them in. And I shall harden the heart of Pharaoh, and he shall pursue them. But I am to be esteemed before Pharaoh and over all the army, and the Mizrites shall know that I am Yah. And they did so. And it was reported to the sovereign of Mizraim that the people had fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and his servants was turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this, that we have let Yashua go from serving us? So he made his chariot ready and took his people with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots and all the chariots of Mitzrayim with officers over all of them. Okay. And Yah hardened the heart of Pharaoh, sovereign of Mizraim, and he pursued the children of Yasharal. But the children of Yasharal went out with a high hand, and the Mizrites pursued them and all the horses and chariots and Pharaoh and his horsemen and his army, and reached them camping by the sea beside Pi Ha-harath before Baal to Siphon. And when Pharaoh drew near, the children of Yashua lifted their eyes and saw the Mizrites coming up after them. And they were greatly afraid. So the children of Yashua cried out to Yah, and they said to Moshe, did you take us away to die in the wilderness? Because there is no graves in Mitzrayim. What is this you have done to us to bring us up out of Mitzrayim? It is not, is this not the word that we spoke to you in Mitzrayim, saying, leave us alone and let us serve the Mizrites? For it would have been better for us to serve the Mizrites than to die in the wilderness. And Moshe said to the people, do not be afraid, stand still and see the deliverance of Yah, which he does for you today. For the Mizrites whom you see today, you are never, never to see again. Yah fights for you, and you keep silent. And Yah said to Moshe, why do you cry to me? Speak to the children of Yasharal and let them go forward. And you lift up your rod and stretch out your hand over the sea and divide it, and let the children of Yasharal go on dry land, on dry ground through the midst of the sea. And I am hardening the hearts of Mizrites, and they shall follow them. And I am to be esteemed through Pharaoh and over all his army and his chariots and his horsemen. And the Mizrites shall know that I am Yah, when I am esteemed through Pharaoh, his chariots and his horsemen. And the messenger of I am who I am, who went before the camp of Yashrael, moved and went behind them. Okay, and the column of cloud went from before them and stood behind them. And came between the camp of the Mizrites and the camp of Yasharal. And it was the cloud and the darkness, and it gave light by, and it was the cloud and the darkness, and it gave light by night, and the one did not come near the other all the night. Hold on, I've got to read that again. And came between the camp of the Mizrites and the camp of Yasharal, and it was the cloud and the darkness, and it gave light by night, and the one did not come near the other all the night. Okay, and Moshe stretched out his hand over the sea, and Yah caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea into dry land, and the waters were divided. And the children of Yasharal went into the midst of the sea on dry land, on dry ground, and the waters were a wall to them on their right and on their left. Excuse me. And the Mizrites pursued and went after them into the midst of the sea, all the horses of Pharaoh, his chariots, and his horsemen, and came to be in the morning watch, that Yah looked down upon the army of the Mizrites through the column of fire and cloud, and he brought the army of the Mizrites into confusion. And it came to be in the morning watch that Yah looked down upon the army of the Mithrites through the column of fire and cloud, and he brought the army of the Mithrites into confusion. I'm sorry, I have to reread things when I don't understand what it's saying. And he took off their chariot wheels so that they drove them with difficulty. And the Mithrites said, "Let us flee from the face of Yasharel, for Yah fights for them against the Mithrites." Then Yah said to Moshe, "Stretch out your hand over the sea, and let the waters come back upon the Mithrites, on their chariots and on their horsemen." And Moshe stretched out his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to its usual flow at the break of day, when the Mithrites, with the Mithrites fleeing into it. And the morning watch stretched out at the break of day. Thus Yah overthrew the Mithrites and the sea, in the midst of the sea, and the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all the army of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. Excuse me. And not even one of them was left. And the children of Yasharel walked on dry ground in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall to them on their right and on their left. Thus Yah saved Yasharel that day out of the hand of the Mithrites, and Yasharel saw the Mithrites dead on the seashore. And Yasharel saw the great work which Yah had done in Mitzrayim, and the people revered Yah and believed Yah and his servant Moshe. Then Moshe and the children of Yasharel sang this song to Yah and spoke, saying, "I sing to Yah, for he is highly exalted. The horse and its rider he is thrown into the sea. Yah is my strength and song, and he has become my deliverance. He is my, it says my El, and I praise him. He's my everything." That's what I say. I am who I am of my Father, and I exalt him. Yah is a man of battle. Yah is his name. He has cast Pharaoh's chariots and his army into the sea, and his chosen officers are drowned in the sea of reeds. The depths covered them. They went down to the bottom like a stone. Wow. Your right hand, O Yah, has become great in power. Your right hand, O Yah, has crushed the enemy. And in the greatness of your excellence, you pulled down those who rose up against you. You sent forth your wrath. It consumed them like stubble. And with the wind of your nostrils, the waters were heaped up. The floods stood like a wall. The depths became stiff in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, "I pursue, I overtake, I divide the spoil. My being is satisfied on them. I draw out my sword, my hand destroys them." You blew with your wind, the sea covered them. They sank like lead in the mighty waters. Who is like you, O Yah, among the mighty ones? Who is like you? Great in Kadesha. I think it means Kadash. I'm not sure. Awesome in praises, working wonders. You stretched out your right hand, the earth swallowed them. In your kindness, you led the people whom you have redeemed. Your strength, you guided them to your Kadash. Oh no, it wasn't Kadash. That word wasn't Kadash, because here's Kadash. You guided them to your Kadash dwelling. Peoples heard, they trembled. Anguish gripped the inhabitants of Pelesheth. Then the chiefs of Edom were troubled. The mighty men of Moab trembling grips them, and the inhabitants of Canaan melted. Fear and dread fell on them by the greatness of your arm. They are as silent as a stone until your people pass over, O Yah, until the people whom you have brought pass over. You bring them in and plant them in the mountain of your inheritance, in the place, O Yah, which you have made for your own dwelling, the Mikdash, O Yah, which your hands have prepared. Yah reigns forever and ever. For the horses of Pharaoh went with his chariots and his horsemen into the sea, and Yah brought back the waters of the sea upon them. And the children of Yasharel went on dry ground in the midst of the sea. And Miriam the Nibiah, the sister of Aharon, took the timbrel in her hand, and all the women went out after her with timbrels and with dances. Wow. And Miriam answered them, sing to Yah, for he is highly exalted. The horse and its rider he is thrown into the sea. And Moshe brought Yasharel from the sea of reeds, and they went into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water, and they came to Marah, and they were unable to drink the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. So the name of it was called Marah. And the people grumbled against Moshe, saying, what are we to drink? Then he cried out to Yah, and Yah showed him a tree. And when he threw it into the waters were made sweet. Then he made a law and a right ruling for them, and there he tried them, and he said, if you diligently obey the voice of Yah, your I am who I am, and do what is right in his eyes, and shall listen to his commands, and shall guard all his laws, I shall bring on you none of the diseases I brought on the Mizrites, for I am Yah who heals you. And they came to Elam, where there were 12 fountains of water and 70 palm trees, and they camped there by the waters. Wow. Wow. He's wonderful. He's wonderful. Chapter 16. And they departed from Elam, and all the congregation of the children of Yasharel came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elam and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after their going out of the land of Mizraim. And all of the congregation of the children of Yasharel grumbled against Moshe and Aharon in the wilderness. And the children of Yasharel said to them, if only we had died by the hand of Yah in the land of Mizraim, when we sat by the pots of meat, and when we ate bread to satisfaction. For you have brought us out into the wilderness to put all this assembly to death with hunger. And Yah said to Moshe, see, I am raining bread from the Shamaim for you. And the people shall go out and gather a day's portion every day, in order to try them, whether they walk in my Torah or not. And it shall be on the 6th day that they shall prepare what they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. And Moshe and Aharon said to all the children of Yasharel, at evening you shall know that Yah has brought you out of the land of Mizraim, and in the morning you shall see the esteem of Yah, for he hears your grumbling against Yah. And what are we that you grumble against us? And Moshe said, in that Yah gives you meat to eat in the evening, in the morning bread to satisfaction. For Yah hears your grumblings which you make against him. And what are we? Your grumblings are not against us, but against Yah. And Moshe said to Aharon, say to all the congregation of the children of Yasharel, come near before Yah, for he has heard your grumblings. And it came to be, as Aharon spoke to all the congregation of the children of Yasharel, that they looked toward the wilderness, and see, the esteem of Yah appeared in the cloud. And Yah spoke, saying, I've heard the grumblings of the children of Yasharel. Speak to them, saying, between the evenings you are to eat meat, and in the morning you are to be satisfied with bread. And you shall know that I am Yah, your I am who I am. And it came to be that quails came up at evening and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay all around the camp. And the layer of dew went up, and see, at the surface of the wilderness was a small round substance, as fine as frost on the ground. And the children of Yasharel saw, and they said to each other, what is it? For they did not know what it was. And Moshe said to them, it is the bread which Yah has given you to eat. This is the word which Yah has commanded. Let every man gather it according to each one's need, and omer for each being according to the number of beings. Let every man take for those who are in his tent. And the children of Yashua did so, and gathered some more, some less, and they measured it by the omers. And he who gathered much did not have too much, and he who gathered little did not have too little. Each one gathered according to his need. And Moshe said, let no one leave any of it until morning. And they did not listen to Moshe. So some of them left part of it until morning, and it bred worms and stank. And Moshe was wroth with them. And they gathered it every morning, everyone according to his need. And when the sun became hot, it melted. Wow. Wow. And it came to be on the 6th day that they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for each one. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moshe, and he said to them, this is what Yah has said, tomorrow is a rest, a Shabbat, Kodash to Yah. That which you bake, and that which you cook, and lay up for yourselves all that is left over to keep it until morning. And they laid it up till morning as Moshe commanded, and it did not stink, and no worm was in it. And Moshe said, eat it today, for today is the Shabbat to Yah. Today you do not find it in the field. Okay. Gathered 6 days, but on the 7th day, which is the Shabbat, there is none. And it came to be that some of the people went out on the 7th day to gather, but they found none. And Yah said to Moshe, how long shall you refuse to guard my commands and my Torah? See, because Yah has given you the Shabbat, therefore he is giving you bread for 2 days on the 6th day. Let each one stay in his place. Do not let anyone go out of his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day, and the house of Yashua called its name manna, and it was like white coriander seed, and the taste of it was like thin cakes made with honey. And Moshe said, this is the word which Yah has commanded. Fill an omer with it to keep for your generations, so that they see the bread with which I fed you in the wilderness when I brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim. And Moshe said to Aharon, take a pot and put an omer of manna in it, and put it down before Yah, and keep for your generations. As Yah commanded Moshe, so Aharon put it down before the witness to keep. And the children of Yashua ate manna 40 years until they came to an inhabited land. They ate manna until they came to the border of the land of Canaan, and the omer is 1/10 of an ephah. Okay, I'm sorry. I was kind of thinking. Okay, apologies. Chapter 17. And all the congregation of all the children of Yashua departed on the journey from the wilderness of Sin according to the command of Yah, and camped in Rephidim. and there was no water for the people to drink. Therefore the people strove with Moshe and said, "Give us water to drink." And Moshe said to them, "Why do you strive with me? Why do you try Yah?" And the people thirsted there for water. And the people grumbled against Moshe and said, "Why did you bring us out of Mitzrayim to kill us and our children and our livestock with thirst?" Then Moshe cried out to Yah, saying, "What am I to do with this people? Yet a little, and they shall stone me." And Yah said to Moshe, "Pass over before the people, and take with you some of the elders of Yasharel, and take in your hand your rod with which you struck the river, and go. See, I am standing before you there on the rock in Horeb, and you shall smote the rock, and water shall come out of it, and the people shall drink." And Moshe did so before the eyes of the elders of Yasharel. And he called the name of the place Massa and Meribah, because of the strife of the children of Yasharel, and because they tried Yah, saying, "Is Yah in our midst or not?" And Amalek came and fought with Yasharel in Rephidim. And Moshe said to Yehoshua, "Choose for us men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I am stationing myself at the top of the hill with the rod of Yah in my hand." And Yehoshua did as Moshe said to him to fight with Amalek. And Moshe, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to be, when Moshe held up his hand, that Yasharel prevailed, and when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moshe's hands were heavy, so they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. And Aharon and Hur supported his hands, one on his one side and the other on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Yehoshua defeated Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And Yah said to Moshe, write this for a remembrance in a book and recite it in the hearing of Yehoshua, that I shall completely blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under the Shamaim. And Moshe built an altar and called its name Yah Nisi. For he said, "Because a hand is on the throne of Yah, Yah is to fight against Amalek from generation to generation." Hmm. Because a hand is on the throne of Yah. Hmm. Okay, I'm going to try to do chapter 18 too. Chapter 18. And Yithro, the Kehan of Midian, Moshe's father-in-law, heard of all that Yah had done for Moshe and for Yasharel, his people, that Yah had brought Yasharel out of Mitzrayim. And Yithro, Moshe's father-in-law, took Sephora, the wife of Moshe, after he had sent her back, and her two sons, of whom the name of one was Gershom. For he said, "I have been a sojourner in a foreign land." And the name of the other was Eleazar. For he said, uh, "The I am of my father was my help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh." Yithro, Moshe's father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife, where he was encamped at the mountain of I am who I am. And he said to Moshe, "I, your father-in-law Yithro, am coming to you with your wife and her two sons with her." And Moshe went out to meet his father-in-law and bowed down and kissed him. And they asked each other about their welfare, and they went into the tent. And Moshe told his father-in-law all that Yah had done to Pharaoh and to the Mishrites for Yasharel's sake, all the hardships that had come up upon them on the way, and how Yah had delivered them. And Yithro rejoiced for all the good which Yah had done for Yasharel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Mithrites. And Yithro said, "Baruch be Yah, who has delivered you out of the hand of the Mithrites, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, and who has delivered the people from under the hand of the Mithrites. Now I know that Yah is greater than all the mighty ones, for in the matter in which they acted proudly above them, then Yithro, the father-in-law of Moshe, brought a burnt offering and other slaughterings unto Yah. And Aharon came with all the elders of Yasharel to eat bread with the father-in-law of Moshe before Yah. And it came to be on the next day that Moshe sat to rightly rule the people, and the people stood before Moshe from morning until evening. And when the father-in-law of Moshe saw all that he did for the people, he said, "What is this that you are doing for the people? Why do you sit by yourself, and all the people stand before you from morning till evening?" And Moshe said to his father-in-law, "Because the people come to me to seek Yah. When they have a matter, they come to me, and I rightly rule between one and another and make known the laws of Yah and his Torah." And the father-in-law of Moshe said to him, "What are you doing? What you're doing is not good. Both you and these people with you shall certainly wear yourselves out, for the matter is too heavy for you. You are not able to do it by yourself. Now listen to my voice. Let me counsel you, and Yah be with you. Stand before Yah for the people, and you shall bring the matters to Yah, and you shall warn them of the laws and Torah, and show them the way in which they should walk, and the work which they do. But you yourself seek out from all the people able men who revere Yah, men of truth, hating unfair gain, and place them over them to be rulers of thousands, rulers of hundred, rulers of 50, and rulers of tens. And they shall rightly rule the people at all times. And it shall be that they bring every um, I lost it. Okay, and it shall be that they bring every great matter to you, but they themselves rightly rule every small matter. So make it lighter for yourself, for they shall bear with you. If you do this word, and Yah shall command you, then you shall be able to stand, and all this people also go to their place in peace. And Moshe listened to the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he said. And Moshe chose able men out of all Yasharel and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of ten. And they rightly ruled the people at all times. The hard matters they brought to Moshe, but they rightly ruled every small matter themselves. And Moshe sent off his father-in-law, and he went to his own land. All right. Thank you, Father, for that reading. All right. So we stopped at chapter 18. I'm going to tell you, I got a little teary-eyed listening to what our ancestors did, and how belligerent we were, just how, man, we not were, still are. We gotta get it together, because we're going back into the wilderness, and the same thing that was not tolerant to the Father then is still gonna be what is not gonna be tolerated by Him now, and we've got to get it together. But anyway, thank you for joining me. I will see you tomorrow. Um, for another reading. Shabbat Shalom. Have a good night.